Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to take the drive gear for the speedometer cable, which is right there, out of the rear of your Borg 1345 transfer case. And it's really a pretty simple thing. I've done it once before, a while back, and my speedo cable bound up and kind of chewed my gears up, so I have to put a new one in after I got the speedo cable binding thing fixed. And I've already removed the rear drive shaft, which is sitting right there. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's just two U-bolts with some nuts on them, and you just pop it off. I'd use a mallet to loosen it up. And now you'll see there's a nut in there. That is a 1 1/4 inch nut. And you'll see some things that say you need a deep drive socket. You don't. It just needs to be a big one, and it needs to have pretty thin walls. Like this is what I've used, and it works fine. And the nuts on there are damn tight, so I already broke it. But I will take the yoke out and then show you guys how to take off the seal. Okay, so here the yoke bolt is off, and now the yoke itself should just pull. I might need to pry it a little bit. Should just pull. Yeah, see there, it just pulls right off. The yoke is fairly small too, so it just pulls off, and we'll set it over there so it doesn't get all nastied up. So there, and it'll smell because it's ATF in here. So there's the seal. And luckily, since I put this seal in last time, I chose one that had and the new ones, this is a Timken seal, just got it at AutoZone, or this one might have been Rock Auto, it doesn't matter. This one has a nice lip that grabs, so you can actually see when it's seated in all along the edge, and beside that, you can really easily get a pry bar under there and just pry it right off. So I've got a little pry bar here, and might be able to just do this, sorry, two hands, might be able to just do this without a hammer at all. Nah, I think I'm going to need a mallet. But you guys get the idea, so I'm going to grab a mallet and just nick this thing right off. Okay, so here you can see the old transfer case seal. See that there's that lip that I was talking about. And I had to, kind of bend it up a little bit and get some vice grips on it to pry it out, but really, it was easy. Compared to the last seal I had, which, the one that was in here when I got the truck was like just a cylinder, it didn't have any lip, and it was sunk in all the way to that interior lip, so I had to, there was nothing to grab onto. It was a real pain. So if you have one of these, you're lucky. That's what I will be putting back in. And you don't have to change the seal out. I mean, theoretically, to do this, if you can get it out looking good, but for like $4 on Rock Auto, and I think I paid $10 for it at AutoZone, it's really stupid not to. I mean, it's probably gonna leak. I've heard most people say that I reused one once on a different truck and it leaked, so goes to show. So now I'm going to take my 7/16 wrench and take off this one little screw that's holding the retainer for the speedometer in. Okay, so just got that popped loose. Now I just got to take that off. Maybe not loose enough. And that's all that holds the speedometer cable in, and with the driven gear on the end of it. Okay. So there, that's off. I'm just going to set that on the skid plate. And then the speedometer cable just pops right out. And you can see, for my tires and my diff gearing, I have the wine-colored 16-tooth gear. That is pretty new, actually. It got a little chewed up, but nothing too drastic. So now, this driven gear in here is on a collar, and it will literally just slide right off. And yep, I can already tell, that's pretty sad. That was brand new 2 years ago. That is completely apple cord. Like, what an apple cord looks like. So that thing's toast. So I will go get my new one, and we can put that in. Okay, so here's the new Speedo drive gear. You can see nice and flat, good sharp teeth, and new transfer case seal, just like the old one. And so this thing just literally slips right back on. Just make sure you push it back in there. Then the new seal, I'm gonna have to get something to tap it back in with, but it should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just tap it in until the lip sinks, and that's that. Okie doke. So there, the nut is back on, as you can see, and torqued to 120 foot-pounds. The Manual calls for 100 to 130. I just opted a little on the high side, so, you know, better safe than sorry. Just put the washer and the nut back on and the yoke. And, make sure you have your transmission in gear while you do this, otherwise it really doesn't work. So the yoke is back on, nice and tight, and now really the only thing left to do is put the drive shaft back on, which I'm gonna spare this video from because it's so basic. And there you have it. I mean, it's really not a hard job. I was a little nervous the first time just because, you know, it was, you know, you're messing around with seals, but I mean, this is not a difficult job at all. You can do it. I mean, I just did it in about 15 minutes just because I was, you know, finding tools and finding my camera, but if I hadn't been doing that, it probably would have taken about 5. So there you have it. That's how to replace the drive gear on a Borg Warner 1345 transfer case.